order this regular meeting of the Lancaster County Planning Commission of February 4th, 2026. A printed agenda is available outside the hearing room, and a copy of the full agenda, including the staff reports, are available online or at the Planning and Development Service Department, room 203. The Open Meetings Act is posted just inside the doors at the back of the room. In addition, a copy of all staff reports and other relevant documents for the matters to be considered by the Planning Commission are included in a binder that is located on the dais and is available to the public for review. Out of courtesy for those attending this meeting, commissioners and staff, cell phones may not be used in the chamber during any portion of this meeting. We appreciate your cooperation. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held January 21st, 2026.
So moved. Campbell?
Second, Edens?
Campbell,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Ebert,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
Minutes approved.
The next item of business is the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda will be called at the same time and will not be scheduled for a separate public hearing unless there is a request from someone wishing to speak or at the request of a commission member. I will now ask Shelley to read all the consent agenda items into the record. Once those items are read, she will ask if there is anyone wishing to speak. If you wish to speak on an item on the consent agenda, we would ask that you stand and state that item. That item will then be removed from the consent agenda and scheduled as a separate public hearing under Section 3 of today's agenda. All items remaining on the consent agenda will be voted upon in total with a motion for approval. Shelley, will you please call the items on the consent agenda?
We have item 1.1, special permit 05002A, the Foreman Ridge Community Unit Plan for a waiver to reduce the front setback for all lots on property generally located at Southwest 12th Street and West Foreman Drive, and this is final action. Are there any ex parte communications to be disclosed on this item?
No, there are not.
Are there any ex parte communications that took place or additional information you learned while visiting this site to be disclosed?
There are not.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak on this consent agenda item?
We do not see anyone here that would like to speak on the consent agenda item. We would now entertain a motion on the consent agenda. Shelley?
I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second, Edens?
Shelley.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Ebert,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Veit,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
Approved 8-0.
We will now proceed to public hearings. Prior to staff making a brief presentation, each staff person should state their name, agency, and address. The applicant will then be requested to present their testimony, followed by those who wish to testify in support, followed by those who wish to testify in opposition. The staff will then be given an opportunity for rebuttal. If during your testimony you have copies of documents or materials you would like distributed to the Planning Commission members and or included as part of the record, please provide them to the clerk. Each person testifying should state their name and address and shall have 5 minutes to speak unless additional time is requested and granted. The clerk will then use the light system to help aid your timing for your testimony. The lights will appear on the monitors provided. The clerk will indicate when you have 1 minute remaining to wrap up your testimony. The red light indicates that your 5 minutes have expired, and once the final minute has elapsed, the clerk will indicate that your time is up. The Planning Commission will vote immediately at the close of a public hearing unless the Commission votes to defer action or continue the public hearing. Shelley, please call the first public hearing item.
Item 5.1, preliminary plat 25003 to plat 6 single-family lots as part of an adjustment of existing lots for Reckner Estates with waivers on property generally located at South 109th Street and Rokeby Road, Highway 2. This is also final action. Are there any ex parte communications to be disclosed on this item?
There are not.
Are there any ex parte communications that took place or additional information you learned while visiting this site to be disclosed?
There are none.
George Wesselhoff, Planning and Development Services Department, 555 South 10th Street. So the application location is Eastern Lancaster County. We're at the northwest corner of Rokeby Road for Highway 2 and South 190th at the county line with Otoe County. And the request is for a reconfiguration or adjustment of 6 existing lots on approximately 31.34 acres. These 6 lots will be reconfigured into the same number of lots. Proposed lot sizes range from 4.16 acres to 6.84 acres for the new lots. The existing lots range from 4.29 to 5.7 acres. Access will be from a new private street that will connect to South 190th Street. So there'll be a single access point, which will be off 190th Street. This will eliminate multiple potential driveways that could occur now under the existing lot situation. The Lancaster County zoning regulations do allow for enlargement and alteration of lots which do not meet the current height and lot requirements. And so these lots are being adjusted under a provision under the county regulations. They will still meet the 3 acres required for private sewage disposal systems and meet subdivision and setback requirements. There was a groundwater report submitted. The groundwater report indicates that there's adequate water quantity to support the domestic water wells within the proposed development. The one area where there's disagreement with the applicant is on the requested block length waiver. Otherwise, this proposal meets all the requirements and would otherwise be consistent with the regulations in the comprehensive plan. So the request is for a waiver from the maximum block length requirement of 1,320 feet. The staff recommendation is to deny that for multiple reasons. The first of which is that 2 routes to reach any property is always a desirable situation for both the residents and for emergency access. Without the typical street connection, these lots will only have 1 access point. There is a drainage way and floodplain to the west of lots 21, 22, and 23, and access to the east to Recknor Estates is the most viable in the long term. I do have an exhibit that shows the existing lots and these other lots that we're referencing. So the existing lots of the applicant are these 6 lots here. And then there are existing lots to the west, including lot 23, which is abutting directly to the southwest. Another reason for recommending denial is that the sole access being to a busy high-speed highway, Highway 2, is not in the best interest of the traveling public or residents. In this case, the adjoining lot 23 shares access from Highway 2 Rokeby Road through lot 22. These lots are under the same ownership. However, 4 additional lots directly to the west also use the same access point. So the public access could benefit multiple lots. The staff report under the conditions of approval 1.18 has a condition that states show a public access easement in a separate outlot for a private roadway between lots 2 and 3, block 1, from the new private roadway to lot 23, and also revise the grading plan to reflect the private roadway. So this is related to the block length requirement. The access does not have to be paved. The county allows private roadways to be rock surfaced, so the development costs would be minor compared to a paved urban street. And with that, I can answer any questions you may have.
Oh, yes, Commissioner.
Would you explain again where you see the second access point being?
Yes. So if we look at the proposed preliminary plat, this is the adjoining lot 23. It would be a connection point to the southwest. And then looking at the existing lot aerial here, so that's this lot here is the lot 23, which has a shared access with lot 22 to get to Highway 2, and then there's additional lots to the west that also have the same connection point to Highway 2.
So you're saying that you'd like to see a connection through lot 23 to their driveway with lot 22?
So within this plat, Recknor Estates, the connection would be to get to lot 23, which would enable potentially long-term additional lots beyond just lot 23 to utilize that. But the immediate benefit lot would be lot 23.
And that would hook up to Rokeby Road or Highway 2?
Would hook up to-
It would link to lot 23, which currently has access to Highway 2, yes.
Yeah. And it would open up traffic going through lot 23 to get to Highway 2 rather than going out on 190th?
The proposal would only affect the plat in question. So there would not be a new easement at this time added to lot 23, but that may happen in the future if lot 23 and or the other lots nearby are redeveloped or reconfigured similar to this proposal.
Okay.
Does any other commissioners have questions at this time? Not at this time. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mike Eckert with Civil Design Group here on behalf of RLM Enterprises, our client on this. And as much as it pains me to have a dispute with my friends in the planning department, my client has requested me to do so. So I will just immediately, because we're in good shape on everything except for this access road. And so what I've done here is kind of drawn it in, and maybe that will help Dick and all of you on the
Okay.
so I've drawn in red there is the right of way, which would be the logical location to take access off of the road that we're building. And the block length, as you measure it here and then go up and have to complete the block, wouldn't meet the standards, which, and I've talked with staff about this. It is the block length when you do acreages is liberally applied because sometimes it just doesn't make sense in terms of some of the topography and some of the other issues. And so the other thing I wanted to point out too is this particular project. If you look at this map of Lincoln, we're the red box there. We're out at the county line. This is outside of tier 3 even in terms of other development. And this land drains towards the Missouri River, never comes towards our treatment plant. And then let's go back to this one a little bit. So the issue as well there is that well, first of all, this is something to keep in mind, and I don't know what our client would do, but I think he is inclined that if we would not win this appeal, that he would probably just leave the project as is. He wanted to do this to create some better lots that he thinks would sell better. And as George mentioned, we've got driveways from all of these lots will come out there. And then what is on the other side of the street, you can kind of see it here in the aerial, is another subdivision. Now that's actually in Otoe County, and that subdivision wouldn't comply with Lancaster County's block length with these two roads up here. But they have all their traffic coming out there, and so that's what we're matching. So this is a positive, as George said, is we're removing the likelihood of several driveways. And I think one of the biggest things we wanted to share was, so, and George mentioned it, so that this lot has a house, this lot could have a house, that house is on that lot, but this lot, this lot, this lot, and this lot all come down and share this point. And I do not know how often NDOT reviews their access points and makes decision, but I'm assuming with the South Beltway, they relooked at a lot of things. And, they have establish this as an access point, a full access point for those lots. And I completely understand the need to accommodate those lots if and when the state would say we need to close this access point. I think the state, when they make that, when and if they make that decision, could also perhaps take a little corner of this property and come back here to access it. And I understand that the planning department would like to make that process easy for the state. So our best guess right now is that little extension is probably a $50,000 item by the time you grade it, seed it, rock it. So it's not a huge deal. I mean, $50,000 is a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But this lot also, and I just confirmed with Steve, they won't be able to access it if we stub it to them. It will be a road to nowhere until they would go through a subdivision process and extend it. So it would provide two ways out someday, but not now. So I think that's kind of another issue to take under consideration in this exchange for reducing driveways on 190th and reducing the cost of the project for a client. And again, I think NDOT, if that day ever came, would have options that would not be that costly to them to do this. If you drive that stretch of Highway 2, you know, there are lots of single homes that have access, and, you know, it's controlled, it's an expressway. If they ever convert it to a freeway, like they're doing with the South Beltway and the West Beltway, then they would go through and take care of these access points and create overpasses and interchanges. And so there'd be a lot going on, I think, would be the next step in my opinion with NDOT. So, yeah, so we reached an impasse on it, and we think there's a good case to say that given our distance from being urbanized and the fact that NDOT has already established access for those 6 or 7 lots with one access point, that a waiver in this case would be fair. So, be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioner Campbell?
I noticed on 2 maps before that across with the subdivision, that's called Evergreen Drive.
Yeah.
Is that in the separate county?
Yeah, yeah, so that, Dick, actually, so 190 serves as a county line
Okay.
between us and Oto. And so there's this development. This was another development that was done with a community sewer system out here. That was a project that a Lincoln developer got mad when the impact fees were created and said, I'm gonna do something outside of the county. And so, but yeah, you can see they're coming off 190th, and then that subdivision got one access here, and then it came to the next mile section road. There's a residence down here that has access, and down here. But yeah, so we're right on the Oto County line.
So it will create possibly some confusion of having to change the name of Evergreen Drive on that side.
We are matching it.
No, but the staff's recommendation, or the Department of Transportation's recommendation, was not to have that labeled Evergreen Drive.
Oh, on our side? I should be more familiar with my staff report.
Yeah.
Was there an issue with Evergreen Drive? Okay. I'll hang out here while.
Yes, it was identified that there's existing evergreen street names elsewhere in Lancaster County, and for 911 emergency purposes, to avoid confusion, the condition in the report is to change the name.
So it'd be Evergreen Drive on the Oto side, or Cass side, and it'd be a different name on the Lancaster side.
Yes.
But the intersections would line up for geometric purposes.
Right.
And safety, so.
Yeah.
I guess, Mike, if this was built,
Mm-hmm.
who maintains it? The rock and the snow and of that little section that the,
So that's another challenge that, again, is not a situation that the planning department is happy about either, that the county engineer, and then now with the blessing of the county board, has said that when you're outside of the 3 mile jurisdiction, well, they want it within the 3 mile too, but planning staff can change that when they're in the 3 mile. But outside of the 3 mile, there is now a resolution passed by the county board that said all county roads interior to a subdivision like this have to be private,
yeah.
which means they're maintained by the HOA. So then they are responsible for maintaining a road that wouldn't be
Isn't used.
for quite some time. And so there's an extra burden now. The old standard was it could be public, you could petition to make it public when you had 60% of your lots or a minimum of 6 lots. And they changed the minimum, and then they said, we're just gonna say they all gotta be private. So
Okay.
we have to design it to their standards, we have to have them come out and approve it, but it will be maintained as a private roadway by the residents. their
And so will
HOA.
the other road, that's the main off of 190th, or is that okay?
Yes.
Will also be maintained privately?
Everything within the
okay.
subdivision, right? So on that layout, the main road and that stub
Okay,
would both be private. And that's, again, a decision made by the county.
okay.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
Um,
Okay.
when that stub, if that was not put through at this time, and lot 23 ever wanted to develop 2 lots out of the one or something, would it be possible to go through then and create a stub at
No.
that time?
No. And I think that's planning's argument, is if they ever did do something, then a subdivision, and they wanted to come that way, they couldn't condemn it. The state could condemn it. The state could say, we're taking away your access. We'll condemn it through this subdivision, which they could do, or they could take it, like I said, along the frontage. They would have to do a subdivision. I think the only thing I would say about that is probably don't have enough land to do 2 lots. Because it's some of these lots that we've done this way have been grandfathered in. They're not AGR zoning, but they managed somehow to get a 3-acre lot, multiple of them in this situation. So I think if they came to planning department for a final plat to create another lot, it would be denied because they don't have enough area. So.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Now.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any testimony in support? Any testimony in a neutral position? Any testimony in opposition? How about staff questions?
Yeah.
Looks like a few, George. Go ahead,
I
Commissioner.
don't know what my question is. Explain to me again why we're building a road to nowhere.
Yeah, I'll put the map.
So if we need access to that other lot, what happens to the lot that you're connecting to, that road's going to?
Right, so as Mike mentioned, and I mentioned previous, the proposal before you now, or the recommendation of planning, is to have this easement with an access to connect to the lot 23. We don't know when it will happen, but lot 23 and/or these other lots could someday be redeveloped. They could potentially be reconfigured similar to what is happening here. If those lots, like the applicant's lots, are pre-1979, they're legal lots. That's why they're less than the 20 acres. They could potentially reconfigure them, or if enough acreage were put together to reach 75 acres for minimum ag CUP, community unit plan, that would be another potential avenue. So you're right, as far as the time frame now, it would not connect beyond the property line of the applicant's property. But in the future, if lot 23 and or those other lots are redeveloped or replatted, then that's when it would happen.
So my next question, does the road have to be built as part of this, or do you just need an easement on that road if one was ever built?
It would be a road, but it could just be rock. It doesn't have to be an urban paved street in the county.
And an easement won't, we can't just request an easement on that land, no road be built until such time as the possibles.
I mean, I think the commission can modify the conditions of approval. That's certainly within your purview.
Additional questions for George?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Applicant rebuttal, please.
The only thing I did want to clarify is George had talked about an easement, so I confirmed it with Steve that, you know, they do want it as a right-of-way, not just an easement. I think Steve and I have talked. If we just put an easement there and these lot owners own it, we have to create no-build areas, and someday, you know, it's like, oh, there's a road coming through here. So that's, I think, really the only thing. And like I said, I just want to reiterate that this is, you know, it's probably a tough decision for you, but in my opinion and our client's opinion, I think every circumstance has to be looked at a little uniquely, and in this case, we think it's a prohibitive cost for the development. It's not really necessary, given that there's unlikely there's going to be a subdivision to the west that's going to give them permission to even access the road. So I will close with that.
Okay. Any other questions before the applicant leaves? Okay, thank you.
I'd move that we close the public hearing.
Second, Edens?
Campbell,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Ebert,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Fife,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
Public hearing closed.
And I would move that we approve preliminary plat 25003. Yeah, 25003, with the exception of the stub road going to lot 23.
So you want to approve the waiver request?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Second, Edens?
Okay. Would you like to start the discussion, Commissioner Campbell?
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. In lot 23, if it was divided, it's just putting more traffic onto Highway 2 with the way the roads are there now. And if they do make it an expressway, a lot of those roads are going to have to be tied back to like 190th Street or other areas. So eliminates all these driveways coming out onto a highway. So I don't see the need of adding more potential traffic through lot 23 that has the combined road with lot 22 and puts them out on Highway 2 directly. So I think it's best to just eliminate that from happening.
Okay. Commissioner?
Just not in the favor of building a road to nowhere. It just doesn't make sense. And so we make a rock road that doesn't get maintained because absolutely no one's using it. Or the residents around it do use it. They get used to using it all the time to park their vehicles on as a driveway. And then when the road goes through, we have a whole nother set of issues. It just didn't make sense to me.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any other comments? Yes, Commissioner.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I appreciate planning being forward thinking about this, like that is what we want. Right now, though, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to Commissioner Eden's point of building a road to nowhere.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. We'll go ahead and call the motion.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Ebert,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Veit,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
Approved, 8-0.
At this time, anyone wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so. Okay. We'll go ahead and call for the motion.
I'd move to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Perfect. Thank you, Shelley.
Campbell,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Ebert,
Yes.
Edens,
Yes.
Veit,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
I'm not stepping in there for you.